What up, Chooch?
What you got for me?
I think I got some wheels, but I have been wrong. Here, I'll lose it all now. And fuel tank.
Nice.
What are you doing?
Just doing a little bit of wiring.
You want to film it?
I've finished.
Or you can talk about it then.
Sure.
Do you want to crack these wheels open now? I'm excited.
No, just leave them in the box so I can take them to the tyre shop and get rid of the boxes.
And they can get rid of them. All right, combo parts for your Kingswood. How good's that? Thanks, Greg. So what are you doing then?
I just did the battery cables and the alternator and the power supply. So I just used the Subaru battery cables that are already on it. And
That you retrofitted how many years ago?
I don't know, last time it caught on fire probably. So they're really long because they're off a twin turbo Subaru. So I just split them open and shortened them and recombined them and put some heat sheath down here and
Oh, for the starter.
put the alternator wire into it. And the earth is in it as well. And then this is the power supply to the post. And that's the fuse for the vehicle supply. So that's the original wire that used to go to the alternator.
Oh, so that powers all the Kingswood stuff?
It just powers the car up, yeah.
Cool.
So we're nearly ready to throw the Haltech wiring in whenever I can pin you down for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll do that. It's easy.
Got some belts as well, so we better try fitting them. I just got them as per listing, so they probably won't fit.
Yeah, that's most of the time. Sweet. Well, I want to crack these wheels open to have a look at them. I know you know what they look like, but I just want to crack one of them open.
I suspect that they'll look like black wheels until we put fancy...
You going to put white walls on there?
I'm not.
Who does white walls?
Mr. Whitewall.
Call us.
Put the trim and the factory hubcap on it, so it'll look like a factory wheel.
Let's do it.
When we did the Bedford, we fitted very similar brakes from hopper stoppers to what's on the Kingswood. And Millsy's wheels obviously didn't fit either because it had drum brakes on it. So he got on to Dci Wheels, which is in Victoria. They supply multiple sizes of these just plain steel rims. These are double drilled for 5x 114.3 and 5x 4.75 inch, mixing it up. So they'll fit either a GM or Ford pattern. The good thing about these is for a Kingswood, they actually modify them so you can put the original hubcap on, which is what Scott wanted for the car. He just wanted it to look like it did before, but with brakes that fit. So,
and work.
And work, yeah. So they supplied us with the dress rim.
Oh yeah, that's sweet.
So that's what they have from factory, and I'll get a hubcap. It's the original old Kingswood hubcap. It's a bit of an iconic thing. You can also eat your porridge out of it if you're broke down on the side of the road in your 202. So that goes on like that.
Geez, one hit wonder. Did you clean that? Is that been Mr. Sheen?
No. You don't Mr. Sheen hubcaps, bro. You Ajax them.
Okay then.
So yeah, we'll do that later.
So that with some sweet tyres and some white walls. Who does white walls? Call us. We actually do need some white walls for this thing.
Nice.
Yeah, that looks sweet as.
We'll send these off to the boys at the tyre shop and put some appropriate tyres on it.
Ones that aren't going to kill Scott.
Yeah, we want something with a bit of grip on the back, so probably a bit of semi-slick action on the back. It doesn't get driven that much, so it doesn't matter if they wear out quick. And just something regular on the front. We should be good to go. Should look good.
Alan, this came as well. It was in the PO box.
Sweet.
I think it's our body mounts.
There it is.
Sweet.
So when we did the suspension, we were going to do body mounts on it, but we got some body mounts off a
No name company.
urethane bush company, and there was only half the amount we needed, and then we found out that we needed to buy 2 kits to do it, but then we also needed to buy another kit to do the front mounts because they're different, and then throw away 2 of the ones that they made us buy extra, which is just makes no sense at all. So I had a bit of a rage quit at them because I reckon that's just stupid. It should all be in the one packet for the car. And we give Kingswood Country a call, which is also called Resto Country, because they don't just do Kingswoods, they do Falcon parts as well. And they got it all in one box. You can even get bolts to replace it. They're all like OE spec bolts and everything. It's because these bolts get rusty from water gathering in the body mounts. So Mintaz will throw those in.
Before tackling the body mounts, Al is fitting up the drive belts onto the iron line. The alternator and water pump have a tensioner pulley, but the power steering pump needs to be manually tensioned with a lever bar. It's important to note not to lever against the pump housing, as they are easily damaged and will cause it to leak. Wedging a bar into the bracket will provide enough tension for the belt. The front body mounts have seen better days, with one of the crush tubes completely rusted away. Rust converter is applied and the new mounts can then be bolted in. Some cars require the body to be removed from the subframe to replace these mounts. Lucky for us, all of the mounts are accessible, with only a couple requiring a lever bar to slightly raise the body out of the way.
We just finished the body mount installation. It was quite the adventure. There was a lot of rust in the eyeballs and the ears and the hair, if you've got hair. But it's all in there now. They fitted quite well. Brand new bolts. We gave some tactile action to the rusty bits, and it was actually mostly the crush tubes that were. The rust was actually the crush tubes from the old bushes, not the body itself. So that's all good to go. We might need to realign the panels now that we've put new body mounts in it. It's a bit of a thing with these old girls. They tend to sag a bit when the body mounts are worn out. That's the suspension and braking system pretty much done. I've bled the brakes. They're working well. Just need some wheels. We're kind of sick of working on the dirty body and getting eyeballs full of junk now, so I'm going to fit the wiring for the engine management system. I've got on my lap here lovingly. It's a Elite 950. We talked about it a couple of episodes ago. This is specifically for V8 engines on a budget. It's sequential ignition and either single coil or multi-coil waste spark. We're just running a single coil because we want it to look like an old jigger with a Dci. So we just need to punch a hole in the firewall to run the wiring through, and then we're going to hook it all up. Who's got a hole saw? Thanks, mate.
Jackson, where have you been for the last few weeks, mate?
Been at Fraser Island, dude.
You've been up Fraser Island for the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks for helping us out again, mate.
No worries.
Good to
always.
see. Good to see you back.
Always here, always helping.
With a helping hand from Budget Thor, the wiring loom is fed through the firewall and out onto the engine. Al has completely wired the engine whilst it was on the engine stand, apart from the thermofans and the body wiring for the car. These items can now be wired, as before Al didn't know what length the wires needed to be.
Is it pouring out the rope seal yet?
Doesn't look like it.
Got all the wiring finished up. I wired up the fans. I was waiting until it was actually in the car because we didn't know the proximity of them. The main power wires I've crimped on a big terminal and put that on, and we've also terminated those last 6 wires that join to the car itself. We're almost ready to crank it over. We haven't got the ECU plugged in. We've got no fuel system yet because we need to put the fuel tank in, and we decided not to do that today because it was going to be too much work and not enough finish. So we attacked the wiring instead. Everything's got to be done. It doesn't matter which job you do. It's all got to be done for the thing to finish the car. All the jobs have got to be done. So sometimes it's better to just pick the one that you feel like doing because then you actually are going to achieve something. We mentioned briefly before about the Haltech 950, and Woody said to me, we get lots of comments or questions on our Facebook page about what ECU should I use. I mentioned that was kind of a specific ECU for a V8 engine, 750 for a 6-cylinder, 550 for a 4. That's the sort of the cheaper models. Then obviously you've got your 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, 2,500, whatever. If you want to know which sort of ECU to put in, you could probably just jump on Haltech's Facebook and or YouTube. They have some really good videos about how to choose your ECU. We're happy to help, but you'll probably get a lot more information specifically from Tuning Fork and Richard. They are very good at communicating what you need or what suits you. So they've got a big range. It's, you might not need the most expensive one, you might need the cheapest one. So you may as well keep it simple if that's what all you need. So check them out. We've got some oil in it. I reckon we're ready to crank it. It's not going to start because the ECU is not plugged in. We don't have a fuel system, but we just want to get it circulating, and also we just want to crank it over because sometimes that feels good when you're halfway through a massive project. So let's give it a go. I got reds. We've cranked her over for a little bit. I don't want to push the starter too hard. We're just trying to get a bit of oil circulation. These old things are notorious for not being able to pick up oil pressure after a fresh rebuild too easily. We can see oil circulating under the cover, so that's a good thing. Circulation and pressure aren't the same thing. So we're just going to leave it at that until it's ready to start up. Next week we will get stuck into that fuel tank. No fuel, no go, so we'll get into that.
Or so we think, because you tend to change your mind on what we're doing.
Yeah, maybe I won't want to do the fuel tank, so we'll do something else, but we've got plenty to do. But it would be nice to hear it running. Anyway, we'll get to that next week. Might be time for a lemon squash now. Thanks.
Well,
Thanks, Budget Thor. And thanks for watching.
Where's my beer?
don't know, man. Me and you don't get them.
We're on the budget.